When it comes to thinking about our body and our defenses, it's a little bit like thinking about a castle. So when we think about the first thing that we do when we come to protect ourselves against disease is we keep out anything that might attack us. And in our body, that looks like having a physical coating, tough waterproof skin and mucus to trap microbes, and it also involves chemicals like tears, which contain antimicrobial agents, and stomach acid. So if we were to eat or swallow a microbe, we would kill it very quickly. So in our body we have lots of what we call the first line of defense, or our inbuilt or innate defenses. And you can see on this diagram there are all sorts of things in our ears, up our nose, on our skin, and even internal parts like our urethra, where our urine flows down, inside our anus, up the vagina. There are acidic secretions to stop anything growing there, even though it's warm and moist. In our stomach we've got our acid, and in our lungs we have mucus layers to trap microorganisms and then to slowly move them up those tubes so we can swallow them, and then our stomach acid can kill them off. So lots of first lines of defense, just like the castle's walls, keeping out any infection. What happens if something gets through that first line of defense? Well, we have some internal mechanisms that just try to kill any attacker. So they're not specific, they're not aiming for a specific virus or a specific bacteria. They would just kill anything that was foreign. So that would look like white blood cells called macrophages or phagocytes that come along and eat up anything foreign. We also have chemical responses such as inflammation that makes the area hot and red, and it will kill off microbes and also signal to the rest of the body that white blood cells should come to the area and help mount an attack. Let's have a look at phagocytosis a little more closely. Phagocytosis means cell eating. And we've got a picture here of a white blood cell surrounding a bacteria. And once it's surrounded it, it releases enzymes from little bubbles inside the cell called lysosomes. They digest the bacteria, and the bacteria is now no longer a threat to your body, and you can just get rid of the debris. You can see it being excreted from the cell here by exocytosis. So that's how we can munch up the bacteria or any foreign particle that enters our body. And here is a picture of inflammation. So you can see a harmful splinter has entered the body, and our body responds. It gives a red swelling here. We get lots of extra moisture coming out of our blood capillaries. Our capillaries actually become more leaky. That's why it swells. White blood cells can come out through the capillary and come and munch up any damaged cells or any bacteria that might have come in on that splinter. We can have maybe some clotting happening if you've damaged a capillary and you're leaking blood. But the area becomes warm. That warmth will kill off bacteria, because bacteria like a perfect temperature. If we can raise the temperature just in that local area, you might kill off any invaders. So those are some ways of being non-specific, just attack anything new that comes into the body that's foreign. If we manage to evade those defenses, and we are a germ inside the body and it's not been destroyed by any of those methods so far, we have to send specific attack to that area and target the very virus or bacteria that is trying to cause disease. And in our body that looks like white blood cells that release antibodies. If they're going to attack a bacteria or a virus, that's what we call it. If it's going to attack a chemical, we call it an antitoxin. So these are chemicals released by white blood cells to specifically kill the invaders, whether it's a bacteria or a virus, maybe clump the invaders together so that they are tastier for other white blood cells to come and gobble them up by phagocytosis or destroy their toxins. So here are pictures of antibodies. They are Y-shaped molecules. They can do lots of different things. This flow chart summarizes that. They can surround a virus or a bacteria, which stops it being able to invade. They can clump them together. They can neutralize any foreign molecules by gathering them together, or they can cause the cell to burst. So this often happens to virus-infected cells. We deliberately burst them open so that they can't release new viruses. So when that has all happened and your body has got rid of an invader, just like in the castle, you'd have a historian recording the battle. We have memory cells. These memory cells are also white blood cells, and they remember the specific bacteria or virus that tried to attack us. And that means that next time that bacteria or virus enters your body, those memory cells are ready to react. They will react really quickly, get rid of the disease probably before you've even had symptoms, and that is when we become immune to a disease. And it's also a way that vaccination works, because we stimulate these memory cells to exist so that you don't get a disease when you've been vaccinated against it. So 3 lines of defense: non-specific and specific, to keep us safe from all these microscopic organisms in the world that could cause disease.